welcome to another episode of I Guess I'll Do It with Pat House. Today, I have the very funny, actually somebody I've never met before. I was going to say good friend, but we've actually never met, and don't mean that to sound belittling, so I can't really say good friend, but fellow comic, hilarious comic, just had his first headlining weekend at the Helium in St. Louis, Missouri. Very good club. Today, I have Chris Allen. What's up, buddy?
Hey, how you doing, man? Yeah, it's nice to finally sit and talk, man. I've heard so much about you from so many comics. It's just, the more you do this, you start hearing names. And anytime I would hear New York guys come through Philly, it was just like Pat House, Pat House, Pat House, Pat House. So
thanks, man, dude. And I've heard a lot about you. Same exact thing, man. Comedy's a small world, man. But I love your Instagram and Twitter. I follow you and I see your stuff all the time. It's always funny, man. Always funny.
Oh, thanks, man.
I can't wait till we get on a show together.
Oh, I know, man. I can't wait to do that. It's like anytime I hear like guys I work with mention the other regulars they bring, I'm always like, who the fuck is this guy? Is he better than me? But in a good way, because I want to make sure I'm bringing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. You never want to be like the weakest link on like somebody's tour or like
I know, or like the guy will like, oh, I'm in this region. This guy's gonna want to work with me, and I don't want the quality of the show to go down. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So you just had your first headlining weekend at the Helium in St. Louis last week. How was it?
It was fun, man. I had a great time, man. I tend to still get in my head quite a bit.
Of course, so that never goes away.
Right. I was beating myself up a bit because Friday was. I have to be honest. It was light. There was probably only about like 8 or 9 people in there.
Yep.
And they don't sit the room, so they were spread out. And I was just like, they're gonna hate me. Why did I do this? What am I doing with my life? And the first 20 minutes, I was just in my head. And then I remember just saying to the crowd, I go, you know what? I go, fuck this. I'm just gonna be myself. And I was doing okay before, but I just had more fun when I finally said, fuck this. I'm just gonna be myself.
And were you just going through the motions, just like doing the material?
Just doing the material, people? Yeah. Because I was afraid of like, if I try, it's not that many people. If I seem like I'm trying too hard, they might make fun of me. Like just dumb shit.
I know, but I've been there, man. Like, I love how, like, okay, I had a show in the Comedy Zone in Charleston, West Virginia a couple years ago, and same deal. There may have been 9 people on the Friday show, and I was doing material, and I was just fucking eating it, and then I started doing crowd work, and then that turned them off even more, so I didn't know what to fucking do.
Dude, I was just in Fayetteville, and here's the thing about this room. It's a really nice room. It's a nice room. The hotel is great. It's right near a restaurant. It's a great gig on paper. It is, but the person who MCs it, they're not a comedian.
Oh, one of those.
Just a local dude, and it was just like they didn't sit the room. So everybody is sitting in the back, and I'm featuring, and I tread water for 30 minutes. And it's like, I would rather just bomb.
Yes, I agree.
I would rather just bomb. I mean, I was so tired when I came off the stage, and it was so bad. I was like, I can't even stay and watch this person headline, because if they kill, I am going to do something horrific to everyone in this room.
Now I hear you, man.
And I left.
You would rather flat out bomb than have the crowd that like you can't gauge them. Like one joke hits, the next 2 don't. One joke, they jugged you joke to joke and start over after every big laugh.
Right. And I was
drives me nuts.
Yes. I was like, I don't know what you guys want. I was like, I don't know what you want. It was one of those sets where I came off stage and I deleted my video immediately. It was my camera's still on the tripod, and I'm like, delete.
I have done that. I don't really record myself too often, but I record audio every single show. And there have been times where I am walking off the stage, take my phone out of my pocket to make sure I covered my time, and then hit delete before I'm even in the green room.
Your hand's still on the mic and you're deleting this. This never happened. Beep.
That's going to be my new closer for shitty shows. Just tell the crowd they suck, and then I'll delete it for them. Just like,
see this? I'm deleting this show.
Because of you guys. Because of you.
Let me ask you this. Why don't you video record? I'm interested to know if you're like me.
I'm starting to more and more. I guess I never really did it because I always had the audio
Right.
I always record audio. So if I had something new or I said something differently, I would go back and listen. But I guess I really haven't owned a camera in forever. That was part of
Okay.
it. Can't really video record if you don't own something to record with. um, and I guess that was just more about the words than how I look on stage, if that makes any sense. But
Okay.
then, like, every time I watch a video of myself, like, I can go back and listen to the jokes in the voice notes in my phone, but then if I like watch myself on video, I'm like, oh, I'm like slouched. I look at my posture. I'm like, I just break myself down as a person.
Mhm. Mhm.
But I'm starting to get clips more and more for social media.
Right.
You know,
Now you have to. Yeah.
exactly. You have to, because comedy has evolved in such a way to where, like, you know, in order to do a 1 hour show for people, they have to see a bunch of 30-second clips first.
I
And
know.
they have to read what you're saying.
I know. Isn't it? It's weird how it evolved, because I felt like at first it was like just little, like picture, like little memes of you on stage, and then you would just put your joke in captions on that.
Yes. I did that for a couple jokes, 2 or 3 years ago before the pandemic. And then I guess
Yeah.
with COVID, people just started posting, videos of them on stage and then adding the subtitles or captions at the bottom.
Yeah. I feel like at first years ago it's just high res pictures of yourself with the meme with the short joke, and then it turned into you need video. And then people were like, oh no, you get more views, because before the pandemic, a lot of people were just on their phone at work and they couldn't listen. So that's why captions became important, because now they were watching their videos on silent. So it was just funny just watching it become more and more and more. And now it has to be multiple angles, high res. It has to fit the entire thing. It has to have captions. You got to have a catchy, clickbaity title for the bit. It's insane, man.
It's absolutely insane. And I think about this all day, every day. Like, I'm tight with Dom Herrera. He's a Philly comic way ahead of me, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
But we're also 40 years apart in age. But like Dom, like back in the 80s, you had to like walk past the comedy club and look at the poster in the window, or like read the newspaper, or even pick up a phone and call, hey, who's there in October? That shit is insane right now. You know what I mean?
Right. I know, man. It's crazy. And I feel like too, like whenever you talk to any like older comics, they treasure their material so much. It's just like, you can't put that out there. You got to wait. People got to see it. But now it's just funny watching how the landscape has changed, because I'll be honest, man, if we want to have a serious talk about comedy, I'll be 100% honest. A lot of, like me coming up, a lot of white comics would talk shit about black comics doing a lot of crowd work and all that kind of stuff. And I'm pretty sure in certain circles it's still the same, but I feel like I've kind of elevated out of some of those smaller, those just shittier comedian circles.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just funny watching a lot of those comics who, all this guy does is crowd work. Black guys, all they do is crowd work. And you look at their social media, and that's all it is. It's just crowd work, crowd work, crowd work, crowd work. It's just like, y'all made so much fun of us for being these crowd work guys. And now it's become like the thing you have to post if you want to like not burn your material and be relevant and have content out there.
Do you do a lot of crowd work? Do you like it?
I absolutely love crowd work.
Man, we got to talk about this, because I fucking hate it.
Really, dude?
Yeah.
There is, and the thing is, I like my jokes. Working with, this is why I love working with Norman, is because like I used to like not be confident in my jokes and all that kind of stuff, and then I got to meet him, and he would go, dude, these jokes are great. He's like, he really put this in my head. Jokes are where the money is, and I go, you know what? You're right. It's just like very few guys become the crowd work guy, or you have to be in New York or LA to become the crowd work guy. You know, because we all know a Philly guy, a DC guy, or whatever city. Oh, they're the crowd work guy. They don't go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, you don't go anywhere.
And New York and LA, there's so many tourists in the crowds. You can get by a whole set. Be like, where are you from? Oh, you're from France. Here's my French joke. Oh, this couple's from China over here. Here's my Chinese joke. You know what I mean?
And you're doing it at the Cellar and all these known venues. But me doing that at some bar show in Stanton, Virginia, not likely to go viral. You know what I mean? People really, even that's the thing too. Backdrops are big. Like if it's a Cellar, let's be honest. We've seen some bits from people from the Comedy Cellar. It's an okay bit, but it does well because it's at the Comedy Cellar.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Location definitely matters.
Right. And I'm not disparaging the comic or the bit or the club. I'm just saying Location matters. It makes you seem a little bit more better than you are sometimes, or more accomplished than you are. So,
do you do crowd work every show? Like, do you always work it in, or do you just like
dude,
do you initiate it, or do you wait for something to happen? Do you call something out? Because I will only do crowd work if something isn't going as planned and I have to like address something. And it can be fun if you get a good banter with somebody rolling, but I don't ever like
really
see somebody in the crowd
Ooh.
and be like, hey, that's a stupid hat, and then just like talk about their dumb hat or whatever.
You know what? I like to I have to talk to people when I first get up there. I just feel like I feel weird just going into it because I really suffer with a lot of like self-esteem. I feel like people don't like me. So I feel like if I like maybe sometimes make fun of another person, or if I notice something that'll make people like me more. But yeah, dude, I have to talk to people. I have to. I absolutely have to talk to people. And there are nights where like I don't want to do my material. And if something weird happens in my mind, I'm like, thank God this person saved me, because I'm so sick of telling these jokes. I would rather just do this.
Yep. I mean, that certainly happens too. You get, especially if you're like working on something and you do the same jokes every night over and over again, you do get tired of it.
Yeah.
But the cool thing about crowd work though is that it's a moment that will never happen again. Like what happens talking to somebody will never be recreated. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
That's always really cool when you get to be a part of or witness like a special moment.
Right. I love that, man.
So where am I talking to you from now? Where are you?
I live in Charlottesville, Virginia. It's about 2 hours south of DC, but I consider myself a DC comic. I'm there all the time. I do run a mic here. There is a venue here, but it's just not steady like with incoming comics. But we do a weekly mic. Every once in a while, another guy, gal, they might get a show that goes on for a little while. But to be honest, man, a lot of them, they're not very seasoned. And it's just tough to have like these mics with 16, 17 comics, and maybe I would say maybe 3 or 4 of them might have a bit or two. So it's like trying to figure out how to like make a lineup for a mic that you know isn't going to be great.
Yeah.
And trying to keep people there for 2 hours. You know what I mean? It's
hard. It's work.
It's tough, man. It is tough. You know, but they really respect me. They like me. They like to hear the stories from the road. A lot of them, they like to really try. Some people ask for notes. So, I mean, the community here, it's fun. They're cool. It's just a lot of them don't get out as much. They have careers. And, you know, if they want to go do anything, they either got to go to Richmond, which is an hour and some change away, or DC, which is two and some change.
Oh, man.
And let's be honest, man, 90% of those people don't really want to do this as a career anyway. So they're not going to drive 2 hour or so to do a mic, you know?
Okay. I thought you were in DC because I seen a bunch of your posts and stuff from there. But I mean, if you're just south of there and you go there all the time, then you're still a DC comic. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm there all the time. It's so funny because for years, people thought I lived there, and they found out like, oh, dude, you drive here during the week 2 hours? I go, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, when I like my last few years while I was on active duty, that's what I did, dude. I would get up at like 5:30, get my son ready for work, for daycare, get him, go to work, go to PT, go back and pick my son up, get home, shower, change clothes. And I have a real good friend. His name was Ray. He's not stationed here anymore, but he used to go with me. I would go, yo, meet me back at the house by 5:30. He would go home, do his thing. We would get up to DC by 7:30. I would do 2 5-minute spots at 2 different clubs, and I would get back home around 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning sometime. And this dude, not even a comedian, he would come with me every fucking night, Pat. Every night.
That's so awesome.
That's my dude, Ray, man. I love Ray. It got to the point people thought he was a comedian.
That's so funny. I had something similar. I mean, minus the long car ride. I was going to Temple University in Philadelphia, and I was doing my first open mics every Wednesday at the Laugh House, and my college roommate, Jeff, came every single Wednesday with me.
That's dope, man. Isn't that a good feeling?
People thought he was a comic. They're like, well, you're here every week. He's like, yeah, but Pat's my roommate. So,
yeah.
But yeah, man, for 6 or 8 months, he probably came most Wednesdays. It was pretty wild.
That's dope, man. I mean, Ray did this with me for, I want to say 4 years.
Wow.
I mean, all the DC comics know him. Where's Ray? Oh, Ray, he went back to Ohio. Where's Ray? He wasn't a comic. I go, no, man. He was just a coworker of mine. Dude, it was so bad. Like, Ray got to know a lot of comedy and just comics. I've had some bad sets, and I would just come off stage, and Ray had ordered me food like, nigga, you need to eat after that because you ate it on stage. I mean, he would have, like, when I was drinking, he would have a drink ready. he would know, like, you messed this bit up. He would go like, oh, this guy, they're still doing that bit. Like,
he's basically your manager at that point.
He basically was. He was funny, man. He used to go out with us. He would analyze the jokes and everything, man. He just really became a fan of comedy.
Wow. That's pretty crazy for someone to be that invested into it. But that's awesome. And I love hearing that stuff about how much people, well, one, he's supporting you, but also tagging along and paying attention and giving you feedback. That's pretty awesome.
And then to start to notice, like, what works and what doesn't work, and he just started to notice all that kind of stuff. It was it's just interesting to see and to be around somebody who isn't as jaded and upset and so in it as we are. Mm-hmm. They can kind of step back and kind of take a look at it for what it is, and it kind of just puts things in perspective for you, having them around.
That's awesome. All right, so let's go back to the very, very beginning here, because I really don't know your backstory. So, were you into stand-up or comedy as a child? Like when you were a kid, I find that most of my podcast guests, even when they were young kids, they were attracted to comedians or funny movies, or their parents had comedy albums.
I felt like I was always a kind of funny kid, but I went through phases where, like, as a teenager, dude, we didn't have HBO as a kid, but my aunt did, and she lived around the corner, and my cousins were 10 years older than me, so I'm like 15, 16. My cousins are 25, 26, whatever, and I made a point to get to their house every Sunday and watch Def Jam. Like, that was my as a 14, 15-year-old kid watching Def Jam. They're saying all this stuff that I shouldn't hear, that they shouldn't be saying, because I also grew up in church. So, like, the juxtaposition of, like...
So those are two opposite ends.
Yeah. It was just like dick and pussy jokes. And I was like, damn, this is so funny. And just watching these dudes command the stage, I thought it was cool. I just really enjoyed it. But as a young adult, it got hard for me to watch. I remember, I would say in my early and mid 20s, people would put on comedy and I would walk out of the room. I would go, I can't watch this, man. They go, why not? I go, I just get way too nervous watching it. I was like, what if it doesn't go well? I was like, people would turn it on. I would go, I can't watch stand-up, man. I can't do it. I can't watch it. It would just make me way too nervous. And then I got back into it with Cat Williams and stuff, but I never really thought about doing it. But I will say this. When I went in the military, I had heard people go, oh, man, you should try comedy. Because I used to play ball a lot. And we would just sit around afterwards and just talk shit. And I would just have everybody just rolling. Mm-hmm. Everybody in my shop rolling. People in the squadron rolling. People in the dorms rolling. And I just never thought I could do it. I had to go, I can't write jokes. I don't know how to do that. And I just things kind of happened. I got orders to go to Las Vegas, and I was really just looking for something to do. I didn't really feel fulfilled. And I'm about 10 years into the military at this point. So I'm 27, 28. I'm not really knowing what I want to do, but I'm like, I just want to try something different. And I got orders to Vegas, and I saw that as a sign. I go, you know what? People always said I was funny. Vegas is the entertainment capital of the world. Let me give that a shot.
No shit.
And I told myself, okay, we're moving there in, I'll say October. I'll give myself until March to do it. So we get there, and then within a month, I'm checking out a mic, and I said, fuck this, and I go. I didn't even wait the 3 months. I ended up going within a month of me saying I was going to go. So
wow. So Vegas, where was this? Like just an open mic at a bar?
Open mic at a bar. It was called Pounders, which it's so funny, man, because you learn really quickly, like, oh shit, how people think the same. Because I get there, one of my first opening line, oh, Pounders, I thought this was the gay bar. Then people are like, why'd you come? And then, like, you go for a couple of weeks and you see a new guy, and it's like, Pounders, I thought this was a gay bar. Now I'm like, then why'd you come? Like, really quickly you find out what parallel thinking is.
Yes, and that can definitely happen, especially early in a career.
Early on. Very early on.
Especially with an opening line at a bar called Pounders. Like, I mean, right. I feel, you know what I mean?
It's too easy, yeah.
So how did that first set go? I'm always intrigued by how people's very first set went.
Not great.
Okay.
I love it. I got super drunk, too drunk.
Before you performed or after?
Before I performed. I got too drunk. It was called a show called Monday Night Raw. My boy D.S. Mackey, who's still a comedian, he was hosting the show. And the guy before me, he did okay. And then it's my turn. and I run up on stage, and guess what, Pat? I forget my fucking paper. I don't have my set list, and I'm drunk as shit. So first thing, like I said, I like to do crowd work. So I just attacked the comic that was up before me.
Okay.
I was like, this fat motherfucker, he has so many rolls on the back of his neck. He a piece of shit. The host, look at his fucking sneakers. They leaning to the side. His shirt dirty. I mean, I'm just going because I learned to be funny in the inner city. And it was just a lot of shit talking. And that's what I thought comedy was. So one, I attacked the comic before me. I attacked the host of the show. I don't have my set list. So my wife is yelling my jokes premises up to me. Like,
oh my God, that's even better.
Yeah. She's like, Dr. Laura. And I go, all right, Dr. Laura. And I go into the bit. It just all bombs. Dude, it got to the point where the MC, Diaz, is trying to get me to go off stage. I'm like, nah, fuck that. I'm not leaving this. I'm fighting with the host. He's trying to get me off stage. And I'm like, no, fuck that. I'm not leaving. And I finally get off stage, and it was just a shit show. And my boy Keon, aka Booyah, he was like, yo, man. He was just like, you can't be doing that shit, man. He was like, what is wrong with you? He's like, you can't attack the comic before you. You can't attack the host of the. He's like, this is his show. You just can't go up there talking shit. Like, he was like, yo, this is like his house. This is like you coming in his house and then talking shit about his house and talking shit to him. And I was just like, oh, I didn't know. I just thought comedy was busting balls and being mean and all that kind of shit. But he took me under his wing, man, and kind of molded me. And after that, me and Booyah became like best friends, man.
Dude, that's a really cool story. I've heard a lot of people story for their first time on stage. Some people were drunk for it, but that was definitely one of the more unique ones I've heard.
It was bad, yeah.
Dude, the fact that your wife was yelling your material to the stage, that's fantastic.
It was not good. And that guy, he quit after I made fun of him.
Oh, man. Yeah. He came out guns blazing that first set.
I did. But you know what? It's funny. We talked about crowd work earlier on. That scared me from crowd work for like the next 2-3 years because I was so aggressive with it.
Afraid of being mean to people in the crowd.
I used to be so mean to people because that's how I grew up being funny.
Oh, yeah, that's very natural to be ball busting and all that stuff. I just love that you took it to the extreme your very first time on stage.
Yeah, dude, attacking the guy before me and then attacking the host. It was just go ahead.
Was the host cool with you after that? Did you?
He got it, but he was like, yo, this shit ain't cool. But I was just like, my bad. It took me a little while to like, you know how it is when a new guy will rub you the wrong way at first.
Yeah, but they truly don't know.
They don't know. Right. And these guys, I want to say they were all probably 3 to 5 years in. So
they had some, semblance of what they were doing.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. Well, because when you're new and you see a guy with 5 years experience, you go, this guy's the greatest.
Yeah, you really think they're like a true seasoned vet when really, if I look back 5 years in, really wasn't that great yet. It was okay.
I think if you're honest with yourself and you're actually decent, you're probably a decent, pretty good host at that point.
Yes, or you're at least learning how to be a good host. Yeah.
Right. I was gonna say, if you're really pushing it, you're a good host at 5 years. Yeah.
So I got a couple questions here because I'm fascinated by Vegas because there are the big comedy clubs. There's the Comedy Cellar there and Brad Garrett's club and Jimmy Kimmel had a club and yada yada yada. The Laugh Factory. But is there much comedy for amateurs in Vegas, or was there when you were out there?
There were quite a few bar shows. As far as like actual real work, there really wasn't much of anything. Do you know Brant Tobler by chance or no?
Only through Facebook because he's a Denver guy, right?
Yeah, but he's a Vegas guy too.
Okay.
So when I started, Brant was out there in Vegas, and long story short, at some point he ended up becoming an investor in the LA Comedy Club that's in Vegas right now. So once Brant started to put money into that, that's when the local guys started to get some work. But other than that, it was basically just a bar show scene, local scene.
Okay. Was there a lot of local comics and a lot of stage time?
I'm trying to think. There were quite a few. I don't think I was really ever hurting for stage time back then. I would say there could have been more, but I was getting up a few times a week. I was out a lot. I'll take that back. I was out a lot. You know what? I was out almost every night, to the point where like it almost affected my marriage. Like, dude, I became obsessed with it because I was always looking for something. And then when I found comedy, I was like, these are my people. I found
Yep.
it. And dude,
I'm so glad you said that because I felt the exact same way when I found it. I was like, these are my people. We look
these
alike.
we
We
sound
all
alike.
we think alike. We're
Right.
all weird, a little outcasty. We're
Right.
all just insecure.
Yep.
All of the above.
Quick. Yeah.
But I love hearing that you grinded early on too, because once I did a couple open mics and met a couple people and things got off the ground, dude, I was out in Philadelphia 6 or 7 nights a week for like years.
Yeah, dude,
Years.
it was bad, dude. There were so many nights because I worked a rotating schedule when I lived in Vegas, and dude, there were nights where like I would stay out until 5 o'clock in the morning. I would get home long enough just to shower and change clothes into my uniform and then go to work.
Mm-hmm.
And I would be at work all day. Like, there's no way I'm doing that shit again. When you get home, you're going to bed. You're not going out. I would get home. My friends would, hey man, there's a mic at this hookah spot. All right, I'll be there. Same shit. Same night. That next night, I'm out. All right, I gotta go, man. I'm leaving at 1, 3 o'clock. I gotta get out of here. I gotta 5 o'clock. The sun's up. And that's the thing, man. Nothing in Vegas ever closes. So we would literally just stay out all night, just talking comedy and just talking shit. I got such a crash course in comedy, man, because I would get to a show at 8 o'clock at night. Dude, we would not leave this bar until 2 or 3, sometimes 4 in the morning. And we would just sit there and they would drink and smoke weed and just talk shit and just laugh. And it was so much fun because like I didn't know anything.
Best.
I didn't know
it's
anything.
The best.
I didn't know anything. Cause like, and you know that you remember that feeling of like you didn't know anything, and somebody would go, "Oh, dude, fucking Mitch Hedberg," and you would go, "Who's Mitch Hedberg?"
Mm-hmm.
And they would go, "You don't know Mitch Hedberg?" And I would go home and get on the internet, and for the next 3 or 4 days, I'm obsessed with Mitch Hedberg.
Yep. Did you ever get the chance to see him live?
I did not.
I caught him a couple times and met him once. We actually chilled and talked for a few minutes. It was fucking insane.
Damn. I was about 2 weeks away from meeting Patrice O'Neal before he passed away, man. He was coming to the Dayton Funny Bone when I finally moved from Vegas. I was like, "Oh, Patrice O'Neal, it's gonna be great." Boom. Yep, passed away. I
got to work with him a couple times.
Damn.
I got to work with him at the Philly Helium, the Stress Factory in New Brunswick. I saw him at the Cellar a couple times because he came through Philly to Helium like once every year. He was one of the guys that was like guaranteed, so I would watch him every time he came through town. Yeah, he was so fucking funny, man. He was so funny,
so great.
I want to tag on to what you just said about like hanging out and just talking comedy. That was like the absolute best. Like at Helium here in Philly, we had our open mic on Tuesday, and the comedy club would close, and then like a bunch of us comics, like 8, 10, 12 of us would go to this Irish pub around the corner called the Bards and stay there till 2 o'clock in the morning and just talk comedy. We would go over each other's sets. We would help each other. We would, if somebody hung out at Helium the week before and Greg Giraldo was there, we'd be telling each other the funny shit Greg was saying. It was
it's so
like,
good.
It's almost like the hangout after the show can be more fun than the show itself. Just talking about it, analyzing it, getting into the nuts and bolts of comedy. Those are my absolute favorite conversations. And when you know, if the open mic was shitty and all of us bombed, it was even better. Even better. Just making fun of each other because we all just ate it. Like, oh, dude, the comedy hang afterwards is the absolute best.
It's the absolute best because I felt like I was learning so much. You know what I mean?
Yeah, everybody's learning. Even if you've been in it for a long time, you're still hearing a new perspective. It's all about learning.
And I'll be honest too, man, looking back, it was the first time I was doing something other than I was never a great basketball player, but I used to spend hours playing ball, talking ball, just playing pickup games. It was all I thought about. I played 2K, I was just engrossed in basketball all the time. And dude, once I started doing comedy, everything fell by the wayside. Everything. Like for almost 10 years, I didn't even watch the NBA. Like I would try to watch games. I would go, I don't care about this anymore. Like I became obsessed with comedy. Dude, I was a hardcore gamer. I quit gaming. Like I would try to play Call of Duty and I would go, why do I care about this? And I was a midnight release guy. I remember I would leave my house Depending on how close I live to a GameStop, I would go to like Walmart, buy a case of beer, and then walk over to the GameStop, pick up my game at midnight. Because I was one of these dudes, like, I have to know the maps before everybody. Like, if I'm going to play multiplayer, I got to know the maps. I got to get that shit early. I got to get this gun. I got to get these sight. You know, I was into all that shit. But I started comedy, dude, and it just, that all fell away, man. It all fell away.
I kind of hear you. I wasn't a basketball player or a gamer, but I mean, I spent from ages 8 through 17 or 18, I played guitar every single day, hours a day. Started doing stand-up, put it to the wayside immediately.
Yeah.
It's weird, but also it's so fun to be that obsessed with it. And it's when you dive right in and take it all in. Like, I look back on those old days, and I have such fond memories of just.
It was great, man.
All the hangouts and hanging in the back of the club and just watching, not talking to anybody. But I used to work at Helium, and I would watch all the shows on the weekend. So every weekend, I'm not talking to anybody. I'm sitting in the back room. I'm watching Greg Giraldo. I'm watching Patrice. I'm watching Maria Bamford. I'm watching Dave Attell. And just watching and learning.
Damn. See, Vegas, I got lucky because with all the comedy clubs out there, Vegas they're not cool like that, because all the clubs in Vegas are kind of ran at the corporate level. So they don't really fuck with the local scene comics that much.
Yeah, the comics come, it's a weird spot because all the comics who are working come in from out of town.
Right. So they don't really fuck, like the guy who worked at the Harris Improv had been there for 45 years. You know what I mean? Like they don't really, it's not really a comedy club as we know them, because it's Vegas. It's more, it's you know what I mean? It's a show.
Absolutely. Yes. It's not like your local Funny Bone or Helium or Improv where you have a 3-act show, a host feature and a headliner kind of thing.
Right, and all that kind of shit. It's more of a show that people they work for Harris. They don't really work for the Improv. It's just like the door guy isn't somebody who wants to do stand-up. Like I said, it's a guy who's been working for Harris for 30 years, 40 years, who can tell you the heyday of when Frank Sinatra would be. It's not a comedy club. But so I got to tell you this story. This is how I feel like I have to remind myself of this. It lets me know I feel like I'm in the right profession.
Absolutely.
And if I really just apply myself, I'm going to be okay. And I'm not a religious person, but sometimes just enough coincidences where you just go, this has to mean something. So years ago, I remember watching Def Jam, and one of my favorite performances on that show was this guy, Vince Morris. Brilliant comic. He was very smart, poignant. And I remember watching him just destroy on it with all these very smart jokes. They were just like just pro-black, just so great. It was profound stuff. And I remember when he was done, I remember like literally standing up in my living room, like, what was that? I go, was that comedy? I remember asking myself, like, what the fuck did I just watch? Because it was funny, but he talked about real shit. I learned something, but it was funny. I was like, was that guy really a comedian, or was he like some type of like actor who was, but I was just enthralled with this guy. He was so good he was just phenomenal. So fast forward some years, I'm maybe 6 months into comedy. My boy Booyah, he's a security guard at Harris. He goes, hey man, my boy's in town. He working Harris, man. You should come hang out with us. I'm like, cool, I'll come. I get off work. I drive down to the strip. I get to this little club where they at, and I see Booyah. I go, yo, what's up, man? He goes, hey man, I want you to come meet somebody. He's featuring at Harris all weekend. And he taps this guy in the shoulder, and the guy turns around. My fucking jaw drops to the ground. It is Vince Morris, like the guy that I hadn't thought about in years. I was just like, it was almost like Coming to America, where like he saw Eddie Murphy in the bathroom. He was like, it is you. I was just in my mind, I'm like, this is the guy. This is the guy why I got into comedy. Like, this is the guy. I couldn't remember his name because this is before you can just look people up on the internet. I go, oh my God, this is him. So dude, the first real comic I meet is the guy that blew my fucking mind probably 6 years prior to that.
That is absolutely the universe throwing that at you for a reason. It's
crazy, right? Insane.
That's absolutely crazy.
So, go ahead.
No, go.
So me and him hit it off, and I don't even, he's probably 10, 12 years in at this point, you know, probably around where I am now. And I'm just like, I can't believe I'm friends with this guy. So he would come to Vegas maybe twice a week. Dude, I would take leave And Vegas is one of those spots where like they do a Tuesday through Sunday run out there. I would take leave the entire week. I would burn my vacation days and I would just go to Harrah's I would meet Vince. That was the only way I was able to get in because I had met him. I would go down there every day and watch him do both shows. And that guy never did the same show twice.
Oh man.
One of those guys, like some shows he would do all crowd work. Then some days he would go up there and he's one of these dudes, man. Like, I'll say this real quick. Years later, we're at this, like, we're getting ready to do a mic, me and Vince, right? We go to a coffee shop. He gets into a weird interaction with the barista. Nothing big, just a little weird thing about the foam milk thing. He goes and closes out this mic. Dude, he does 25 minutes on this exchange between him and this barista. He's one of those guys.
Oh man, we had a guy in like that.
Punchlines, shit's rhyming, shit like that.
Oh man, that's really cool. We had a guy in Philly. His name was Sugar Bear on stage, and I was brand new in a comedy. I'm less than 2 years in. He was a seasoned pro in my eyes, probably been at it 10 or 15 years. And he comes up to me and he goes, "Should I talk about the new touchscreens at Wawa? Because they were brand new." And I was like, "Yeah." And he did 20 minutes on the brand new touchscreens at Wawa, and the crowd was roaring. I was fucking dying, and that was all literally brand new and stuff he was thinking of in the moment. Yeah. So it's those people. Godfrey's like that too. I've had numerous weekends featuring for Godfrey, and all 6 shows could be wildly different. Right, wildly different.
Yeah, it was funny. Godfrey and Vince, they have a similar look. Like if you saw them, they aesthetically they look very close to. They're very close to each other. White women love them. they're, you know the guys I'm talking about. It's like that type of comic. But so I would go every night to both shows. For the 2 years I was stationed there. It was funny watching him feature the 1 year and then headline the next year. But I would go and we would sit in this sports bar every night and he would just talk to me about comedy. And it's funny, years later, I remember that one of the first things he said to me, because like we would all hang around him and just like hanging on every word.
Pick his brain.
Just picking his brain. And I remember he just said, "Look, fellas," he goes, "the road isn't as glamorous as it looks." And I was just like, man, that can't be true. And like years later, when you're finally getting that shit and you're like in a hotel room by yourself, it's a shitty spot. I always hear that in my head in his voice. The road is not as glamorous as it looks. And now here I am. When I'm on the road with Norman, I'm saying the same shit to dudes in fucking Nebraska, to dudes in Philly, to dudes, and it's not as glamorous as it looks.
It's true. I mean, it's fun. You have to keep yourself occupied. Right. But like earlier in my career, when I first started doing the road, I'd be like, "Holy shit, I'm going to Buffalo. This is awesome." And after you've been there a couple times, you're like, "Shit, I'm going to Buffalo this weekend."
Right, right.
It's a great club. I'm not talking shit on Buffalo, just using that as an example, but we all know what I mean. You know what I mean? When you come to the same city for the 12th time,
right,
you're pretty over it.
And you know what? And that's a great that you say that, because like that at the night, that Friday night after in St. Louis, after I kind of beat myself up, I go, "Dude, what are you doing? What are you doing? Even thinking this way?" I go, "You just got on a plane and literally drove to the middle of the country to tell jokes at a great comedy club." And I go, "Chris, this is what you wanted. They paid for your fucking hotel room."
Yep.
I go, "Remember when you were like, damn, they'll pay for your hotel room? I stayed in a great hotel,
Clayton Plaza."
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like throughout our journey,
did you take a picture in the elevator because they have all those mirrors?
Dude, don't even. If I wasn't using my camera I would scroll through all of my pictures right now.
I take 1 million every single time. I think I've stayed in that hotel 4 times. I still take photos every time I go to or from my room.
I know. That's so funny.
It's so fun. I can tell when a comic is in that hotel on Instagram because Chad Daniels posted pictures like that. I've seen a dozen comics and I'm like, I know what fucking elevator they're in.
That's so funny. Now, people do that at the arcade too in Cleveland when you get to that mall.
The Hyatt. Yep.
You got to get that.
Yep.
All right. If you want to, if you want, I can send you one of the pictures and you can use it as a thumbnail.
Yeah.
For me in the elevator.
Send me a picture and I will I'll post it when I post this episode too.
I'll do that. So so I meet Vince, we hit it off. We're talking on the phone, we're texting and all this kind of stuff. I know this guy. He lives in Dayton, Ohio, and all this kind of stuff. So here's another thing. So the job I'm still in the military. The job I'm at, I'm not really doing my job. I'm qualified for the job, but it's not the job I was trained for.
What is the job, if you don't mind me asking?
It's an intel job.
Okay.
Well, one, I was trained to analyze radar signals. And this one we were doing this was more like operational intelligence, where like I'm briefing pilots. I'm making video clips. I'm watching, just different things on screen. It's not what I'm trained to do. You know what I mean? I had a technical job and they had me doing more like a administrative job. And there were some other guys and gals who were the same job as me. They go, hey, we shouldn't be here. We're not being used the right way. I just got out of my school. I want to do my job. So they complain enough to where we get sent out of Las Vegas out of our assignment early. We're supposed to be there for like 4 years. We get sent to different bases 2 years early, because people complain enough at the Air Force level, and the Air Force was like, get these guys out of there. They don't really belong there. Guess where I end up moving? Dayton, Ohio, where Vince Morris lives. Like my mentor.
No shit.
I could have literally went anywhere in the world, Pat. I get stationed at Wright Pat Air Force Base, where my mentor lives.
Wow.
So now I'm living in the city, because before I would only see Vince twice a year. Now I'm living with this motherfucker in the same city as this dude.
How often did you guys hang out?
When he wasn't on the road, he was one of these guys. Come on, man. I'm taking you to this club. He would introduce me to the managers. Like there was this one club, Wiley's. He would go, what are you doing right now? Nothing. Meet me at Wiley's. And I'm not lying, dude. We would go watch some of the worst comics I've ever seen in my life. And I would go, Vince, why are you doing this? He goes, because I want you to see. He's like, this is a friend of mine. He used to be a great comic. He goes, this is what happens when you don't fucking write jokes.
Wow.
He's like, I haven't seen this guy in 5 years. And he would just mouth all of their jokes. He would just do it for like 5 minutes.
Still doing the
same shit. He goes, I ain't seen this dude in years. I was like, he's still doing a Bill Clinton joke. And this would be like around 2011. He's doing a Clinton joke. He's doing this joke. I mean, just wild stuff, man. Like he was one of those dudes. Come watch this. You got to see this. Got to see this. Yeah,
it really is important to watch bad comedy too.
It is
to learn what not to do.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about Mark Norman then. It is. I've talked about this before, in many ways on the podcast, but it is so awesome and crucial and validating and important to have somebody take you around. For me, Maniscalco, Segura, Brad Williams, and most recently, like Dan Cummins, have used me, and it's monumental to your career. So having Mark Norman in your back pocket, who's such a great guy. I've known Mark. Remember when Mark was still doing the Philly's Funniest contest at Helium? He'd come down from New York to do it.
Jesus.
So his episode of this podcast was a really fun one too. So how did you link up with him? How'd that work out for you?
He came to Charlottesville, and with there being no comics here, they needed somebody to open. So I was like, I'll feature. And then two of my buddies, they emceed and somebody did a guest spot. And to be honest, I really wasn't aware. I knew who he was, but I didn't know much about him.
Mm-hmm.
I watched him before he came and stuff. Oh, this dude's funny, man. Yeah, it's cool. And I just go up. I wasn't thinking anything. I go up and I have a hot set. And he, the guy, he loves comedy. He loves jokes. And I come off stage. He was like, man, good stuff. And he goes out and they go, dude, he fucking loved you. He was like, why does this guy live here? Who is he? He should be in New York. I mean, he just saying all this nice stuff about me, and I was really flattered. So we ended up hanging out after the show, and I never asked headliners for their number. But I was like, hey, man, we should keep in touch. And so we just started talking and stuff like that, just kind of texting a little bit. But this is what really changed everything for me. And I'm looking back, I'm not really into manifestation, but I'm trying to be more positive now. And looking back, I think this is exactly what that was. So, and this is when he was opening for Schumer still.
Mm-hmm.
So I started looking at his schedule and I look at hers. And I'm from Rochester, New York. And this is probably around January, February timeframe. I can't remember what year, maybe 14 or something like that. Or no, 16. And I go, hey, I'm looking at his schedule, her schedule. She's going to be in Rochester. I'm from Rochester. And I go, dude, I see you're going to be with Schumer on Mother's Day. I go, I'm going to be home for Mother's Day. We should hang out after the show. I have no intentions of being at home. I lie to him. I'm going to be in Rochester. And looking back now, I just realized I left my wife on Mother's Day to do this shit. Didn't even think about it.
It happens. It's what we do.
It's what we do. He goes, oh, cool, man. I could probably get you to the show. Come backstage. You can meet Schumer. I go, hey, you don't got to do that. That'll be cool. So I go home. Long story short, I'm at the arena. I meet Schumer, and right before the show starts, she goes, "Do you want to go on?" And I'm like, "Fuck yeah!" But the entire time for me texting him the first time to when it happened, I told myself, I go, she's gonna put me on stage, man. I go, if I get there, I'm going on stage. I go, I don't know how it's gonna happen, but it is. And I wrote a set. Everything went. I go out there. I have a great set. She liked me. They were surprised that I did so well. I mean, 10,000 people, my hometown.
10,000
people. And at this point, I think I've been doing comedy for maybe 7 or 8 years at the time. And it's going okay. Like I would go home and do stuff, but they never really took me serious as a comic at all. They were just like, oh, this guy, he's from here, but he's really in the military and he's doing comedy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And he went to this high school. So yeah, whatever. But dude, I come off stage and I go to my Facebook page and so many people are messaging me like they're taking, oh my God, I just saw Chris at the Amy Schumer show. And like, that was my first time really realizing the reach that comics had.
Yeah.
Like I never really kind of
especially somebody at that level
where I'd never, out of 10,000 people, it never even occurred to me that people that I grew up with would be at the show. Cause at the time Schumer is one of the hottest comics on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
And I get off stage and my Facebook feed is just inundated with pictures. And, oh my God, Chris, I just saw Chris. And like everybody in my town loses their mind. And that's when people started to take me serious as a comedian after I did that. So like I owe Mark and Schumer, even though it was a one-time thing, but I still owe Schumer a lot because it put me, it solidified me as a comedian.
That's fucking wild. Dude, 10,000 people is nuts. Dude, tell me about that set. How was it?
To be honest, man, I was so shocked. I was just like, go up there, do the jokes you wrote, take your time.
You have to take your time. You have to take your time because you have to let them laugh. I did a couple big theaters with like Segura and Sebastian, and on some of those like 5,000 seaters, you're like your timing gets all fucked up because you're waiting longer than normal, and the tag don't hit, or you have to scratch the tag completely because it's taking too long.
Right? You kind of got to keep it moving. Yeah. So like, I come up and I'm like, I'm from here. I went to this. I'm trashing my rival high school. People are going nuts. I do a couple of bits. I see the light, and I probably have time to do more, like one more joke. But in my mind, I was just like, do not do it. I was like, the last thing you want to do is go over at all. I was like, you got a good laugh, get off stage. And I would like to say I killed, but it's just like, dude, you did 4 minutes, but it went well. It was like every joke just built on each other, and I had a great time. And she liked me to the point where like I get back to work that next week. And Norman texted me. He was like, hey, Schumer needs your email. And I ended up having this meeting with Mike Berkowitz. He's like one of the biggest agents in the world. He goes, yeah.
Yep.
Dude, I'm scared. I'm literally in my uniform, sitting outside my barbershop, talking to Mike Berkowitz and like 5 different agents. Like, we're going to send you scripts. We got to do this. We got to do that. And I'm like, guys, I'm in the military. I have 2 years left. And he goes, well, look, he's like, then you might want to start asking people to bring you on the road. And that's when I finally got the balls to go, hey, man, I talked to Berkowitz and he said I should ask people to take him on. I was like, I hate asking, but could I please? It's so uncomfortable. And dude, I go from Virginia to Providence, Rhode Island to do my first weekend with Mark. Dude, I take a bath on that gig. Mm-hmm. It only paid me, I think we did 4 shows. I got paid $200. And I had to get
the comedy connection.
The comedy connection, right? Yeah, $200, and I lost so much money on that man.
Yeah, the road is not as glamorous as it seems, man.
It is not.
When you first start featuring, you do take some hits and lose some money. I feel like it's all part of the game, and then that happens less and less. But even now, like 1 or 2 weekends a year, now I take a hit, but then I just like make a vacation out of it. I'll stay an extra 2 days just for fun. Like if I'm going to lose money, I'm going to lose it and have fun with it at least. You know what I mean?
Do something you want to do and not feel like
absolutely
you failed.
Yeah. Like if I'm taking a wash in this city, oh well, this place is only 2 hours away. I'll rent a car and go there for 2 days. Whatever, you know?
Right, make it worth it. Yeah.
But that's the shit we go through in the early days, man. Part of the deal. So how long you been in it now total?
About 13 years. Yeah.
Oh, nice. That's a great spot.
Yeah, man. I just never had a chance to go at it full time because I was active duty this entire time. But I felt like I've made a lot of progress for somebody who couldn't do it all the time. But I realized being in the military afforded me a lot of opportunities because I had the disposable income that I would say 99% of comics didn't have. Mm-hmm. You know, because like there were times where Vince would be like, yo, man, like when I was still stationed in Vegas, he would go, hey, I'm doing this club in Temecula, California. He goes, come out and do a couple guest spots. I would go, and it's just me and my wife. And I would go, okay. Because back then I could just rent a car and get a hotel, you know, and spend $600-700 and not thinking nothing of it. But I'm retired now. I got a kid, you know, things are different. So I was able to do that kind of shit. And like the guy who was a manager at that club, he was cool. Like I had a great set. This is a guest spot. He goes, hey, man, I like you. I'm going to get you a hotel. So the hotel I got, I call, hey, I'm in the military, got an emergency, got to go back to base. They cancel my room. And then I get to stay at a really, really nice hotel room at a casino because my boy Vince hooked me up with some guest spots and he was cool with the manager, you know?
Dude, amazing. And those are the best stories that come out of comedy too. Just somebody helping you when cool shit happens.
Cool shit happens. And dude, I get messages from like a lot of younger. I'm starting to get them now because I understand. We both have to understand what we're doing and where we are. It looks cool to a lot of guys, but we also understand where we are. Like we have a long way to go, but we have to understand, like to a guy 2-3 years in, this looks really fucking cool.
It doesn't. It looked cool to me back then. And I look at some of those guys and found out that, you know, they maybe it wasn't cool as it seemed, or, you know,
right.
I mean, it's definitely cool, but yeah, because we post pictures of the us on stage at the St. Louis ceiling with the arch behind us, or we post pictures doing touristy shit. They don't see us like crying at an Applebee's at 2:00 in the afternoon,
right? Or my bank account
with 7 more hours to kill before the show.
Exactly. It's like, oh man, I saw you at the Norman's bachelor party with Ari and these guys. Yeah, that's cool, man. But it's just like, I'm the brokest guy there. You know, they're all talking about all this shit, all these bookings. I don't have any of that. I guess
Is that where that photo was from? All the matching outfits?
Yeah, from the bachelor party.
That's hilarious.
We had a good time, but like I'm just telling them, man, like, hey, what the fuck? What the hell happened here?
There we go. I don't know. We're good. I can hear you.
Yeah, my microphone just went out like a fucking. There it is. It's back. But just reminding guys and telling the comics, like, hey, like I said, it's not as glamorous as it looks, but also just reminding myself this is what I wanted, and to be thankful and be in the moment, and to try not to be so honest with the young comics. Let them kind of like enjoy it a little bit, and like just take a little bit of the applause, just a little bit of it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That's what I'm learning to do, man. Just take a little bit of it and go, you know what? You're right. This is kind of cool.
It's, you know, we get wrapped up in the fact that it's a job. We are being paid to be there. We had to travel. We had to drive all day. We flew. We have a job to do. It's our job to go out and perform that night. So sometimes I know I'm guilty of like forgetting to have fun. Like when I'm on stage and something hits really hard, I'm thinking about what I say next when I should just stop for a second, chill, and enjoy this. Like I'm a fucking comic. Stop and enjoy it.
Yep. You know what I noticed, man? Like whenever the best sets I have, at some point in the set, I separate from myself and I go, look at you, man. You're on the fucking stage at club, blah, 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 blah.
Yep.
Doing comedy. Isn't this crazy?
Or you're on stage in front of 10,000 people in an arena in your hometown.
In my hometown. Yeah. But it's just, I'm learning to like stop and like enjoy it and allow people to go, hey man, I think what you're doing is cool, and allow people to say that to me, and not me try to be so like, hey, young guy, it's not as glamorous as it looks. It's a lot of work. You got, I got to stop doing that and just be a guy who enjoys it. So
that's what we got to do. Enjoy it.
Yeah.
All right, man. Where can people find you? You are hysterical on Twitter and Instagram. So tell people your handles.
At Chris Allen Comedy, ALAN. Same with my Instagram. I finally got a Facebook fan page too. So please, like Pat was saying, we got to do all this stuff, man. We got to have these numbers to get anything. So I'm on all social media at Chris Allen Comedy, TikTok, YouTube, all that stuff. I have a podcast, Negro Please Radio, Spotify, iTunes, all that every Wednesday. It's about 20, 30 minutes. So yeah, check me out. I appreciate you having me, man. I love talking comedy.
I find that we could talk about this all. This could be an 8-hour episode easily.
I love these, man.
I do too, dude. Thank you for being here, man. We have to get the wheels in motion to do a show together. I don't know, up here or down there or in the middle.
I have a venue down. I have a venue that I can use at any time. Like if you have a couple guys that you want to, like a couple younger guys you want to bring down that would love to work with you, I could get some dudes from DC, and we can do in a friendly way DC Philly thing.
I can make this happen by tonight.
Really? Yeah. All right. Well, let's talk, and then we'll get a date, and we'll make that happen, man.
All right. This is the first show I've ever booked on this podcast, and we're going to do it. Dude, Chris, thank you so much for being here, man. Dude, I really appreciate it. This was a great chat, and we will work together soon.
We will.